What's up, guys? Here we go into a film study on Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko in what's going to be one of the biggest fights for the division. It's going to be a huge fight for Lomachenko's career, and it's a huge fight for boxing. It's going to be Devin Haney's first big test, and that means that he's going to fight at a level that he hasn't fought before. Think De La Hoya versus Trinidad. De La Hoya said he never fought anybody. He never boxed that well in his life. He boxed his ears off and somehow lost, right? Not that that idea is important, but the idea that people are going to take their biggest challenges most seriously. So this is going to be a big fight for Haney. This is going to be a big step up for him. I mean, look what fighting Golovkin did to Canelo, right? He's a much better fighter today than he was before he fought Golovkin. And now beating him legitimately, clearly. So we're going to be taking a look at film study from Haney versus Jojo Diaz, and we're going to be looking at some film study from Lomachenko versus his last opponent, and then Lomachenko versus Comey. Okay, now first we're going to kind of set a little bit of a tone, kind of get a little bit of a look at what Haney's doing. So we're going to watch round one of Jojo Diaz. It's not going to be all-encompassing, but we're going to get a feel for how he fights him, controlling the line, and we're going to take a look at the highlights of those other fights just so we can get the most amount of pieces of knowledge about their tactics and whatever. So a little bit of Lomachenko here with him timing the lead hand control and then slipping to the front foot and then leaving the line here a little bit. Kind of interesting. I don't remember seeing Diaz Jr. do that very often in the fight, so I'm going to be looking for something from Devin Haney to kind of take that away, okay? Because that's one of those little things that Lomachenko really likes to do as well. Now, we're not going to be silly and say that we think that Jojo Diaz is all that much like Lomachenko. He's not. He's not very active. He doesn't have as many active or traps, right? Pull counters. Here we go. Very interesting already, okay? Lomachenko, very similar to Dmitry Bivol. Very, very straight punch oriented. Not until he has you hurt do you usually start seeing him throw hooks. Now, this is going to be actually a really, really huge point of contention in the fight. And we're going to take a look, actually. I got this clip open already over here. We got Bivol versus Zurdo here. And we're just going to go to a random-ass clip here. Boom. Here we are, random-ass clip. Bivol gets to the line, and look at where his hands are. Very European style. And then we've got Zurdo with his hands below his nose, very American style, right? He's from North America or South America, I'm not sure actually, I don't know. But he's from one of the Americas and a very American style. Look at his hands and look at where Bivol's hands are. Now, Zurdo's also in fact taller than Bivol, right? Bivol's glove is coming almost up to the top of his head, but it doesn't really have to come up that much higher because it's in a position to interact with Zurdo's gloves, right? Zurdo can't get a line to his chin without going through these hands, okay? Now, Zurdo being a more of a rounded puncher, although I think that he fought pretty well in this fight with his straight punches, Zurdo being more of a rounded puncher should have had an easy time getting around the guard of Bivol, who keeps his arms in front of him. Now, there's nothing wrong with his hand position. I know his elbow is out here, but he's keeping the line here. If Zurdo gets into a position where he can get past this zone, which is out here, right, to attack a zone way back here, he'll be in range to be hit by the snap of the jab. So he's guarding the line correctly, okay? This is a very important idea going forward for the rest of the film study of Haney versus Lomachenko. So talking about hand positioning, okay? Well, let's go back to the Devin Haney fight. Okay, hand positioning. Devin Haney kind of sneaks this one around the guard here. Now, this is a tough punch to block. Okay, it's a tough punch to block. It's a tough punch to see coming, because it's got that very Mayweather-esque feel to it, where you're going to control somebody with the jab, like we saw Devin Haney giving him some lead hand probes, trying to control him, hold him out there, and then now he's 20 seconds into the fight. He's trying to step in and not jab, but throw a hook, okay, changing the pattern. And this is going to help him get a little bit more control over the line. Now, this very well, in fact, may be the way that he stops Diaz from making it to the front foot into that position. I said, I don't remember him being in this position. So that may be the case. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, okay? And see what else we can see. See how Jojo Diaz reacts. See what else Haney does to get offense. And then we're going to get into another one of the themes of this video is, how do you say it? The complexity of sequences, okay? And it's going to be the complexity of sequences and how we determine who's going to be landing the better offense and who's going to be able to get to better positions. And I'll explain how that works and what that means and all that stuff as we go, as we take a look at the kinds of offense that each fighter is landing, okay? Devin Haney back to controlling the line. Now, very interesting, okay? When they go to play the game back foot, they both go to the front foot. Boom, controls the line. He takes a step, pushes Devin Haney off the line. Devin Haney recognizes this as a trap, right? Front foot, back foot, getting pushed off. I'm not sure what Devin Haney's doing except for controlling space. Front foot, back foot, front foot. And he starts taking a step, boom. And from this position here, Devin Haney just got feinted by his opponent getting to the line. And now, in theory, because he controlled the line with the lead hand, he's going to drive his weight from the one side of the line, and we can't tell what's going on. We can't see this. But in theory, even though he just took a step with his left leg, his head is on the left side of the line, and now he may have the opportunity to cross the line, take his head from the left side of the line, cross to the right side of the line, and throw a rear hand at Devin Haney. And this beat, this rhythm here, beat, 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 is the rhythm at which Jojo Diaz could be breaking into a rear hand punch, which is what's setting Devin Haney off the line. So I want to say one thing that people think that Devin Haney has that's really good is timing, right? And timing is definitely true. But what he's reading are what somebody told me are shoulder feint timings. Okay, it's a shoulder feint, which was, I don't know who coined that, but the idea is, Sugar Ray Robinson said it, but it's the idea that when you bring your weight to the line, you're ready to attack. You're ready to use your momentum that brought you to the line to engage with your opponent, because it allows you to freely move from this back, front movement into a punch. So Devin Haney is very good at reading that movement, okay? Now, the person I think, I don't actually know if this is true, but the person that I think is the best at understanding this relationship is most notably, I don't know if he's actually the best, it's just most likely, it's just because it's my era bias, Floyd Mayweather Jr., okay? Floyd Mayweather Jr. had an amazing shoulder feint reflex. He understood when you were getting to the line. He understood how to control you. And I want to say that, his era was the weakest in boxing. So he was able to exploit that very, I don't want to say easy to time. It's not. You got to have experience to understand it and how to move and how to do stuff. Mayweather was an incredible athlete. Devin Haney is an incredible athlete. He also trained with Mayweather. He understands when people are bringing their weight to the line. So he's getting feinted here. He's jumping off the line, off the second feint. Nobody likes to see him jump off the line on the second feint. But he recognizes the separate beats in between Jojo Diaz getting on the line here and then bringing his weight here. Okay? As we see him make it all the way to the front foot, separate from his front foot. Boom. And now he's going to go boom. And either of those beats could have had a punch attached to them. All right. What the heck did I just do? Okay. Here we are. Was it there? No, it was here. So, pushing him off the line, and then Devin Haney taking a step off the line, regaining control of the line, boom, no problem. And then getting fought here, hitting, oh God, I got so far back. Okay. Then getting back on the line, beat. And then now he's going to break this rhythm as Devin Haney makes it to the line to control him and chase him back with this jab here, right? Trying to engage Devin Haney when he goes control, back, control, okay? And this beat here, this position that Jojo Diaz chose was the position that was supposed to match Devin Haney's lead hand control. And lo and behold, Jojo Diaz is landing a body shot, and Devin Haney is controlling the wrong space. Okay? So, good trap from Jojo Diaz. Now, that's very similar to what Haney is trying to do here by jabbing it at Diaz and keeping his hands forward and then throwing the left hook. He's making him guard the wrong space so he can go around. Now, one thing that we want to focus on, the complexity of sequences. Okay? Devin Haney, I think, on average, has very shallow sequences. This is for a number of reasons, okay? As we go into our first commercial, the Fouts Boxing Combat System. Number one, Devin Haney, when he gets on the line, he has very few opportunities to retransfer his weight into another punch. He sacrifices so much of his technique. We can see when he throws his punch, his foot's not on the ground. If you've purchased the Fouts Boxing Combat System, you already know all the things that Devin Haney is doing wrong. You know what they are. You know from the feet to the hands to the head. You know what he's doing wrong, and you can see it. It's super easy to tell. Okay? We're going to show you a little bit of the Fouts Boxing Combat System right here. Check it out on Dynamic Striking. It's $200. All 5-star reviews so far. And it only came out a few weeks ago, like 5-6 weeks ago. The reviews are still going to be pouring in. Okay? It takes a little bit of time to start developing the punching power, and once you get a knack for it, and you want to learn real, true, hard punching power, once you get a knack for it, you guys, and I love this one, very analytical and evidence-based approach. But one thing that, by the way, they wouldn't let me say here, I don't know why, but I told them, this system is going to change combat and combat sports forever, teaching punching power to anybody on the planet, okay? So, check it out. Don't forget to check it out. But the reviews are going to be pouring in just a few weeks when people finish the system and they really get it to start working and they realize what they have here. Okay. Now, getting back to the film study, the complexity of his sequences. Okay. Because of the way that Devin Haney explodes into his movements and the techniques that he uses to attack, he doesn't have the ability to chain his weight transitions together, and that means that he can't throw very many good combinations with power and without falling off balance. And the fact that he has this problem is one of the reasons why, and we're going to take a look at some other stuff when we look at the film study of the highlights and stuff, when we get to see more clearly like the engagements, right? And the highlights are going to be interesting because it'll be all the engagements, right? Good little feint there from Diaz, not getting any work off of it. Now, I like this guard here from Haney, okay? But toward the middle of the fight, he really gives it away, okay? And he does not keep his left hand here. This is going to be one of those places that he absolutely has to keep his hands, okay? Now, if he's trying to stop himself from getting, I don't want to say get hit with hooks on first contact, then I don't want to say keeping his hand down is okay in the open stance, because when he slips his weight to the back foot, he's not just going to be moving away from him this way, but he's going to be moving away from him this way as well, three-dimensionally, right, as his weight shifts back this way. Okay, towards his back leg, and his back leg is not straight behind him, right? His head is over his front knee. He'll shift his weight toward his back knee. And it's going to give him an angle away from the hook, so it's okay. But Lomachenko is a straight punch fighter, so it's not going to help him to fight with his hands here in this position here. We're going to take a look at a lot of the reasons why. Okay, now again, it's the first round. It's not a big deal, but jab, second jab, coming forward, and then controlling jab here, pushing him off the line. Hey, you ready? Hey, you ready? Hey, you ready? Not stealing any punches, though. Diaz not stealing any punches either. Decent control of the line from Diaz here, right? I think people were booing at this point of the fight for some reason. In theory, good job from Diaz Jr. again, controlling the line here. And then getting around the jab here. Boom. Very Lomachenko-like, okay? I think that is a tactic and an ability that Lomachenko also has and will be very readily able to do as well. But that stuff's not important. It's not super important. We're taking a look at it. We're seeing that it's effective for Diaz, but it's not super important overall for the film study. It will be, actually, but jab, new sequence, jab, duck, right? defend himself after, pull-ish, right? So kind of jab, jab, pull, jab, stepping, getting lead foot dominance, finding a little punch here. He's kind of landing it, right? But not a fierce combination, right? He's chaining these ones like kind of okay together. I think he has like, he gets stuck on his foot here. I'm not sure if this is on purpose or what. So maybe he has to keep going. He like stepped on his foot again. We're not gonna keep that as like a major role-playing sequence here, simply because with Diaz getting his foot stepped on, we don't know how he's going to react. Maybe he wanted to punch from this position, but he got kind of stuck. Maybe he wanted to get punched. He wanted to punch in this position, whatever. But I do want to say this part is important. Okay, this part is really important because we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about it later. But we don't plan for this. This part stepping on our opponent's foot. We don't plan for this. But in this sequence, Devin Haney is doing a better job of reacting to the unplanned than Diaz, right? He's like, oh shit, I'm stepping on his foot. Who knows how this is going to... I mean, obviously he has the advantage if he's stepping on the other dude's foot, right? But he's still reacting better to it, except for like, maybe just tell him don't step on his foot, bro. But reacting to the unplanned stuff, very important, okay? Now, normally I think that anything that's unplanned causes Devin Haney to just clinch and hold. Okay, and we're going to talk about that when we get a little bit farther into the film study as well. When we start talking about, we'll see, you'll see. Okay, now getting on the line. Remember that sequence where I said he pushed him off the line after feinting him with the right shoulder? Boom, stepped here, and now he transferred his weight with the rear shot. Devin Haney gave him the same move. Remember I spent all that time? Here he is. Here's the payoff. Okay, feint. And now he's pushing him off the line. Devin Haney's still trying to pendulum and jump off the line. Still getting hit. Okay? It's good that he's seeing it coming. It's good that he sees it coming. He's not eating the hardest shot that he could. But this is also a very common game. And we're going to see how often Lomachenko does this to his opponent, his last opponent. Forgive me, bro. I know you didn't win. You put out a great effort. And I'm blanking on your name right now. Good catch here from... Diaz. I thought that was a landed punch all the times that I've seen these highlights. Complexity of sequence. 1. Feinted him, caught the jab. Diaz is here trying to react to the jab, feint, right? Caught the sequence, and then was able to catch this punch here. So Devin Haney's sequences being just beat. One little feint into one little punch. Okay? Not really... I mean, we did see him kind of take the lead foot dominance before, but I want to particularly pay attention to the fact that Devin Haney tries to fight more on the outside than get lead foot dominance and land donkey punches and land punches that hurt your opponent. Now, people say that Devin Haney has punching power. Again, if you guys have seen my dynamic striking series, you know that that's not true. He does not have punching power. He does not know how to punch hard. And that's, again, one of the reasons why he doesn't look to get lead foot dominance, why he doesn't look to fight on the inside and land multiple punches. He looks to spoil the fight instead. Okay, now again, really good move here. Okay, gets to the line. Okay, he's been controlling him a little bit with the jab, stepping with the jab a little bit, and now he's kind of stepping around the guard with the hook. Not a hard punch, but we can see that it's going to land. Okay, now that's very important. Now again, complexity of sequences. Boom, boom. One feint, one attack. Nothing wrong with that. But at some point in the fight, it has to get more complex than that because that becomes easier to read, especially as someone who has poorer technique, like Devin Haney. He's quick, but his technique is lacking, and that's apparent because of his lack of power. Okay? Now, a lack of technique causes you to crumble faster. If you don't have good technique, and the more you have to explode and do this stuff, the less effective your feints wind up being in the long haul. You just can't maintain that type of level of athleticism. Anyway, you guys will see. You'll see. Think Teofimo letting Loma on the line with him at the end of that fight. On top of the fact that, in theory, Loma's a slow starter. Now, I don't know if Loma's a slow starter or if he's just scared of his weight class. But, he has been dropped by Linares, right, being timed during his pendulum step. Again, very low complexity and sequences here from Devin Haney, controlling the line. Now, again, when we talked about hand positioning, okay, look at where Devin Haney's hands are. Okay, this is a very important position here. Everything we do in boxing is supposed to be in relation to our opponent. Okay? When you see a guy working the heavy bag and you're like, man, his hand's not up. Man, this is not working and this he's not doing that and he's telegraphing his punches and he's doing this and he's doing. If you don't understand where his target is and what he's imagining is going on in the heavy bag, you have no idea what's going on. But here's the thing. We can clearly see what's going on over here with Diaz. We can clearly see this. Okay? We can clearly see that this hand is close to being able to interact with Diaz. But we have all of this real estate where if Diaz is in punching range, if Devin stops using his stepping punches and his stepping hooks to control the space between them and he manages to eke his foot to this position, he may be able to just snap right onto Devin Haney's face and land a free punch. Okay? Now, I just want you to think about what as I say that, right? Look at Devin Haney probing here. And then as he gets into this position, you see how that glove made it between Diaz's gloves, but it was not a punch? This is a scenario in which Devin Haney could have just snapped his hand hard and hit Diaz without changing positions at all because Diaz is on the line with him. He's in position to be hit. And because of the nature of speed and this and that, and if you don't have to change positions to hit somebody, the likelihood that they're going to be able to react without changing positions themselves, almost zero. Almost zero. So when you see somebody stepping on the line with Floyd Mayweather and he's just snap, jab, boom, times you perfectly, you didn't have a chance. You lost that sequence way before. You lost the sequence as soon as it started. As soon as you started moving your way to that position, they're getting ready to snap into that position as well. And Devin Haney, I don't think he's like that great at that right now. Control, goes to the body, decent, real quick. Where is his hands? Where's his head? Is he going to move off the line after this? No. Where's his defense? Okay? Did he move his head? Is he acting like a pub warrior? Where, oh, this is my sparring partner. I just hit him. Now he's going to let me regroup. And we're all going to recognize that was a scored punch for me. Well, Lomachenko's not a counterpuncher, in spite of the fact that he's so fast and he can do all this stuff and he's got the good pull counters. Complexity of sequences, 1, 2. Okay? Now, I think Devin Haney is avoiding that. And this is an important part, okay? Devin Haney is avoiding the level 1 types of attacks from Diaz. Very low-hanging fruit, 1 control, 1 punch, real quick stolen shots. No big deal. But Haney is able to find those punches, okay? That's an important idea because, well, number 1, he has the height and reach advantage, right? Which is, that's kind of important, okay? Speed plays a factor in understanding how those rules apply to actual combat. But what was I saying? Devin Haney, reach. Whatever. I want to talk about hand positioning. Lomachenko is so fast. This hand position is going to be very dangerous. This shoulder position over here. And as we finish this round out, we're going to just kind of blast through it a little bit. Ooh. So, again, what I was talking about earlier, back foot, rolls into that shot, and then he's going to take a shift with the left leg, and then he's going to throw a left hook. Now, again, the left hook, I think, may not be the best weapon against Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney might be okay in the open stance at getting away from it. In the close stance, I don't think he's as good at getting away from it, but getting away from the right hook in the open stance, it looks like his positioning is okay, but Lomachenko throws the right cross. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys real quick. We're just going to go pop into like some random clip here. Nope, not that random clip. Not the one of Loma just getting beat up. Come on. We're going to go over these. Don't worry. We're going to watch them all. Here you go. 1, 2. Caught him with the shot on the pull counter. Leaping shot. Now, this is a position. Caught him with the cross, right? Again. Push him to the back foot here. Caught him with the cross again. This is a move that I think that Devin Haney is going to really struggle with. I think it's going to be really hard. And look at this position here. As we take a look at Devin Haney in the round one, trying to throw some combination, control, taking a pivot while he's... Okay, now just a real quick question, guys. How much of this is legal? There's no tie-up. There's nothing. Boom, body shot, missed a headshot, left his arm on top of his head. He's completely on top of Diaz's head. He's pushing all his weight and using it to pendulum. It's beautiful. He only used one beat, okay? And now he's going to throw this punch, but he had access to all of his body mechanics, okay? And look at how he still flew off balance. His back leg still flew off the ground. He still couldn't catch himself to follow up. But he also didn't use the momentum that he used to throw himself into this position. Boom, control on top, pivot. He didn't use the momentum from this here, both of his feet off the ground, to close the distance between him and his opponent. He just did that thing that, what's that stupid dude's name? Jeff Horn. Remember when he fought Tim Tszyu? That dude was flying all over. He had some pendulum boxing in him. And that guy, he knows some stuff, man. He's so close. If he sticks with it, he could be a good boxing coach. Jeff Horn. If he wants to be a good boxing coach, he could be. But he doesn't understand what to do with his weight. Check out the Fouts Boxing combat system, you guys. This is how punching works. This is not just... It's not just my system. It's not just that I'm the first one to figure out how punching power works and to be able to teach anybody in the world and teach you how to weaponize it. It's not just that. It's that this is the only way that it works. You know how they figured out how to do stuff in basketball? Here's how you get good at this. Here's how you get good at that. Here's how you get good at hitting in baseball. Here's how you get good at football. Here's the drills. These are the ones you need for boxing. This is it. In 5 years, these are going to be the only drills people are doing. Okay? Get them now. Don't fall behind. Okay, guys? Devin Haney, you need to catch up, bro. You better learn how. Why are your feet so far apart, bro? Are you still an amateur dog? Control, into a 2. Now again, did he get lead foot dominance? Did he make a positional change? It was just one control, and then a 2, right? Now, I want to point out, he's kind of stepping on this dude's foot again, right? I wonder how long that's going to fly. We're not in the business of checking that up. We don't really care. But I want to point out, making it to the front foot here. Now, this is the position that Lomachenko likes to throw his rear cross, or his lead cross. This is the position that's going to be so devastating for Devin Haney. And Devin Haney doesn't look to get into this position himself. So because of the fact that Devin Haney's never crossing the line and making it to the front foot, he's not going to be able to alienate Loma from this position as effectively as he's probably hoping. Okay? So it's going to be very important if he can't stop Loma from getting into that position, because that's the position that Loma's going to use the momentum and not to punch from, right? Because remember how Jojo Diaz early in the film study was using his momentum to get into the line to try to set up a feint and then to try to set up the body shot? But Loma's going to use it to set up pendulum stats. Okay, he's going to find a way to get onto his line and land really good big crosses. And again, look at how Devin Haney controls the line. We've only seen him with the high guard one time. Okay, no high guard. Control the line. Beat. Okay? Pushing him off the line. Okay, so pushing him to the front foot here. Push him to the front foot. Diaz should be ready to leave this position immediately. Okay, there's no reason to be getting hit with that punch. He should be expecting that punch. Okay, so we're going to see how Loma reacts to that too, because, again, Loma is not a counter puncher. All right, real quick. Control, feint, control, attack. So control, so feint, attack. Very low complexity of sequences. Okay? Now, that was pretty fast. That looked pretty flashy. Missed that one. Slip to the back foot. Control him a little bit. Find that shot. Why is it that Devin Haney is landing a right hand on a guy who's on the front foot? He can't get anywhere out. His weight's on the front foot. He's coming up into the punch. He's moving into it. And Devin Haney still can't find enough power to drop this guy, this little kid Diaz. Look at how much bigger Devin Haney is than him. This is not a camera trick, guys. He's huge. Okay? And he doesn't have power. Again, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. It's going to change combat forever. Control. Control. And Devin Haney's already found a... Jojo Diaz is controlling. Beat. 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 And now this is really good from Devin Haney. Really good. Complexity of sequences. Beat, beat. Double control here. Even though he went full retard on the right hand, no big deal because his follow-up here to attack the left hook. Lomachenko is very straight punch centric. So we're going to have to see what role the hook plays in Jermaine Ortiz's fight with him. How many hooks there were. No, not how many there were, but how many there were opportunities for. Okay, when we look at the highlights again, we're not going to do the Loma round like this because we just did that on Patreon. You guys want to check it out. 1, 2. So very basic again. So we've seen one complex sequence from him, and then all of it has been stolen punches, right? One control, one control. So 2 here. Decent, right? Still not getting lead foot dominance though, right? Let's make sure. Maybe a little bit here, okay. But he's not penduluming on you, right? He's not changing angle. He's not getting a better position on you. He's not looking to elongate the sequence. Decent there too. Gets on the line, off the line, on the line, and then gives him a little bit of a feint. Gets on the line and gets feinted and gets pushed back and then tries to re-enter the line as quickly as he can. Little probing right hand here. Front foot, back foot, front foot. Uses the momentum from stepping to the front foot to throw his rear hand probe. This is the kind of shot that we really want to pay attention to because of all of those punches that don't take very much effort and are, how do you say, the complexity of their sequence is very low. This is the lowest. This is the lowest complexity of sequences. It was just a straight right hand, right? But this is arguably the most important. Okay, being able to not only control the space with the rear hand and keep your opponent, because that saves up the technique for your left hook. And again, Lomachenko being a straight punch-centric fighter, he probably has the same problems with rounded punches that Bivol does. Okay, because Bivol only plays the straight punch game. I think someone was telling me that Bivol has been dropped in sparring by Benavidez, and I assume it's from a left hook. A leaping one. But being able to get on the line with somebody, back foot, front foot, right hand, and then just smash it through. Okay, again, look at his technique. No power. He barely got it there. Not barely. He got it there quickly enough. But again, no power. All his technique went to getting it there quickly, not into smashing through Diaz's face. Okay? Check out my system. It'll teach you how to add incredible amounts of power to that punch. Control, control, control. Now, a little bit of lead foot dominance here. A little bit of adding to the sequence again with the hook. I love the hook. The hook is really good. What does Devin Haney do after? Boom, boom, boom. How does he defend himself? Where's his defensive responsibility? Okay? Again, complexity of sequences. What does he do after this? Okay? I kind of stood there. He kind of moved off. Kind of guarded the line. Kind of, right? We saw like a little bit of hand control after. Boom, boom, boom. Next beat. Boom. Okay? But not a lot of head movement if he gets countered in this position. If the punch winds up, if the sequence that he put out there winds up getting followed up. Now, what if back foot, front foot, boom. This is the position that Loma loves to be attacked in. He loves to come forward in this position and make a pull counter out of a punch like this. Especially a punch that's used to control space, okay? Which brings us to a little bit of controlling here, okay? Control of the space, control of the space, control of the space, control of the space, right? Stolen punch again. Control. He's going to steal a punch. Nope, he feinted it. Control as he peels. Now, not a lot of head movement from Haney, right? Mostly relying on his ability to control the line with his lead hand. Now, where have we seen that fight before, you guys? Anybody know? Well, straight up, that's just Joshua versus Usyk. Joshua can only control the line with the lead hand. Jab, 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 jab. Was not enough to stop Usyk from getting to the front foot eventually, double jabbing and then throwing a straight left hand. Okay? If Haney cannot use his rear hand to check Lomachenko's position 1 after he slips and makes it across the line, he's not going to be able to stop the leaping right cross, or if Loma wants, the double jabs into the body shots / the head shots. Now, Diaz had a decent amount of success in this round, landing body shots, stealing some random punches, no headshots, but landing a decent amount of punches that should be decent enough for him to set something else up. Okay, so now we're going to take a look. We just watched a lot of Haney. We're going to watch a little bit of Loma highlights and talk about how they compare to the guard and this and that. And then we're going to go watch a little bit of the Haney highlights right after and kind of keep it together. Kind of keeps talking about similar ideas. Now, Loma making it to the front foot and then leaving that position. Now, real quick, what was the first thing that we saw happen to Diaz once he slipped to the front foot? Hey-oh, he got stuck here. He got stuck here and he got smacked. Loma's already showing that he's not that fool. First round, he's getting out of that position. Okay, he looked like a fool a little bit getting caught up with all that follow-up. But again, where's the complexity of sequences? 1, lead foot dominance. Loma pendulums off the line. Oh no, he just shifts back while Jermaine Ortiz continues penduluming forward to continue the sequence. Leaping left hook continues moving forward. We've seen how well Devin Haney can chain his sequences together. We've seen how he throws his kind of control on the thing, the leaping left hook. We've seen him do that and not put himself in nearly as many positions to chain his sequences together. And Lomachenko is a much more mobile fighter than Diaz. Okay? So a lot of those things that we've already seen, no, not a lot. A few, a small, maybe, who knows. Let's keep watching. Oh, so very similar, right? We've seen Haney do something similar. Control, right? Loma got to the side of the hook. Now, this is really interesting because this is the move that I thought was going to be really dangerous for Loma, the hook. Okay, so here he is. It's probably still really dangerous for him. Let's not get it twisted. But here he is making it to that position, and then a little bit of follow-up from Jermaine Ortiz. Even though his punching position is horrendous, he's not really getting any power. He's using that punch to control the line, and push Lomachenko out of position. How often is Devin Haney going to be able to follow those punches up and stay in position to punch while Loma is able to weave through the line, whether he gets hit uncontrolled or not? I think it's going to be really interesting when the fight happens. 1, 2, slip, slip-ish. Coming forward, slip, pull to the back. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he did. Pull. And now again, this is a very interesting idea because Devin Haney likes to guard the line with jabs, stepping hooks, and probes. And if this is either a probe, right, control, right, lead hand control, stepping jab, pull counter, body shot, ate him, boom, boom, boom. This is a huge problem for Devin Haney because we talk about complexity of sequences, all right? This was a sequence that was used off of Jermaine Ortiz's punch, right? He's coming forward. He's trying to pendulum forward, back foot, front foot, slip to the back foot, shift forward to the body shot, into another headshot. This is like 3 sequences deep, okay? It's some beautiful weight transitions from Loma, staying in position, landing sharp shots. And one thing that Haney does after he punches, he sits on the line. He sits on the line and he doesn't protect himself. His layers of defensive responsibility are not always present, and Lomachenko is very fast. Got on the line, drew out the lead hand control. Okay, got him, stuffed him. Uh-oh, stepping with the jab, pull counter, pendulumed in. Now, this is a sequence that I think that Devin Haney is not going to be able to replicate. Okay, we've got him jumping on the line, back foot, front foot, front foot, jab, pendulum, gets lead foot dominance, pull counters. Was Lomachenko pull countering? Just a beautiful sequence here. Boom, pull, body shot, head shot. I think that punch is blocked, the left hook. Maybe not, because again, Loma is lead punch centric. But this is an incredible sequence from Ortiz. And we didn't see anything like that from Haney. Okay, now we're going to watch a little bit more of the Haney fight too, right, through the highlights. But it's very important to note that the sequences were very low level. Now, jab, pull, making it to the inside. Now, real quick, just to bring it a little bit back, remember when Devin Haney stepped on that dude's foot, and then he's like, what do I do? Okay, well, I'll punch him in the face. Things didn't go the way I thought they were going to happen, right? Here's a case of things not going the way that they thought they were going to happen. Pull, boom, makes it under the line, gets kind of pushed. Okay, he made it back controlling the line, controlling with the rear hand, realizes he's in the dominant position, pendulums forward, continues to keep his weight going forward. Boom, caught him with a good shot. Lomachenko is very good in the scramble too. So Devin Haney and Lomachenko being very good in the scramble is probably going to make for a pretty interesting fight. Now, Lomachenko, I know full. He's not going to get wrestled and manhandled like Kambosos. You know, Kambosos, I guess he just really wanted that. That's what he wanted, Daddy Haney, to just grab him and throw him around. So that's what he got. But I think that Lomachenko is going to make it a very physical fight for as long as he can, for as long as he needs to, because if he starts exerting himself, he'll get a little bit of that Michael Jordan, that Loma thing, right? Not that Loma gets any special rules stuff, but he'll get the Haney treatment, where he'll hold the guy's head down and he'll go, what? I'm not doing anything. No. While he knees the dude in the face, right? Bop, bop, bop. No, I'm just kidding. Haney didn't do that. That's an Andre Ward thing. But anyway, in the scramble, okay, they're both athletes. They're both going to do a lot of good work. They're both going to be creative, and we've got a little bit more evidence for a Lomachenko scramble being more valuable. And when we get to that, we'll talk about it. On the line, off the line, on the line, and then getting countered. But 3 sequences, right? Boom, feint, off the line, counter, and then getting countered himself. Okay? A lot of follow-ups on the line there. Good scramble from Ortiz to continue controlling Loma, not allow him to take advantage of it. Leaping left hook. Now, Lomachenko, where are his hands at? Are his hands up? Controlling the line here. Control. So Jermaine Ortiz using his lead hand and his rear hand to control the lead hand of Lomachenko as he makes it to the front foot to set up his leaping left hook. Not very effective, but Lomachenko doesn't try to block it. He brings his shoulder up, but his hand comes down, and I don't want to say it's his hand's coming down because it's getting hit by Ortiz. That's not the goal of the punch, but Lomachenko didn't move his hand into a position to block that punch. So he may have been thinking it was going to be a straight punch. Real quick, before that shot comes out, where's Loma's guard? Okay? It's out in front of him. There's a little bit of hole for a hook, right? Tightens up a little bit when it gets punched and smashed into his head. Okay? Now, again, complexity of sequence. Very, very common pattern, right? Jab, pendulum, right? 1-1, 2 to the body. Very, very common move for Usyk to use to get around the lead hand of Anthony Joshua. Usyk and Loma are in the same camp, same pattern, same drill, same outcome. Lomachenko follows it up. And again, I think Devin Haney thinks he's going to be out of position, right? Now check this out. Getting back to the Haney versus Diaz, right? What was that first sequence that we broke down with? So he's going to get to the line, boom, boom, and feint, right? Boom, feint. And he pushes him off the line. And this is the move. Whoops. This is the move that he's worried about, right? This one's a double jab, body shot. But we can see that Ortiz is penduluming to get away from the positional change from Lomachenko. And then Lomachenko beats him to this position and then says, you know what, I've been here a million times. I'm going to beat you to this position too. Boom. and smashes him. And again, we didn't see Devin Haney's hands up at all. Okay? Now, real quick, look at the position of Jermaine Ortiz's hand up here. He gets caught. Caught with a hook right there. But look at his hand now. It's in a pretty decent position here. Makes it much easier to come into the hook here. Okay? I wonder if the lack of hand control and control of the line with the lead hand from Devin Haney is going to negatively impact his ability to counter with his left hook against Lomachenko. Again, I think Devin Haney's left hook is going to be the most, oh man, is it the most? Oh God. From all the things that he does out of the ordinary, that's going to be one of the things that he needs to utilize. He's going to need to step that tool up the most because his jab is his most important, right? He has to maintain the first initial amount of control of the lead hand to keep Lomachenko off of him and at a distance at which he can read his pendulum step. And if he can't read his pendulum step, he's going to get his ass kicked anyway. So he has to be able to read the pendulum step and walk him into the hooks, right? Walk him into the rear hands. Very complex sequence here again. Devin Haney doesn't always fight off of his own probes. Sometimes he throws one punch. So what happens when one punch comes out? Now, earlier in the fight, I said lead hand control, right? Here's just a little probe. He's going to put his hand out, boop, control that space, and Lomachenko is launching in off it. Ah, gotcha! And now he's here. He's showing him where the line is, and Jermaine Ortiz is going to attack that position. And what happens when Devin Haney chains two positions together? He throws that hook and jumps, and both feet come off the ground, and now he's in a position, bink, bink, to get countered. Because he doesn't know how to hide his head. He doesn't know how to use defense. His mechanics are so stressed because he does things in such an incorrect way that he winds up in a position not able to defend himself at the end of his kinetic chain, at the end of his sequence, when he's maxed out all of his technique. And I think that that's going to be a really common position for him to find himself in. Now, again, complexity of sequences. When was the last time we saw Devin Haney jump on somebody's line? One. Big pendulum set. Look at how deep he is on Loma's line. Boom. 2, 3. Follow it up. Follow it up. Follow it up. Okay, well, we're going to watch the highlights. So we're going to see. Boom. Leaping left cross, right? Into a stepping jab, into a stepping jab. Follow it up. Keep pushing him off the line. Now, oh, this is a good one. Lomachenko coming forward. Boom. Pull counter into the right hand, into, again, the right cross, right? Now, that one's like more like a gazelle one. Boom. But he's going to interact with this punch. And again, this is so important, okay? We have seen Devin Haney use the lead hand control. We know he does it. It's the most basic layer. It's the most basic. Everyone knows how to do it. Easy peasy. You just do it, right? And then the people who suck at it, they get beat up when they do it. But if you don't do it, you just get beat up worse. But when you do it and you get beat up, people tell you you're an idiot. But they don't realize that if you're getting beat up while you're doing that, you're not very good at fighting anyway. You're not going to be able to fight without it, right? It's not like you're going to be magically better when you have less control of the line and less ability to stop your opponent from entering your line. So here's Jermaine Ortiz trying to stop the little pendulums from Lomachenko, as Lomachenko is going to be making it from the back foot, front foot, and then here's the jab, pendulum. He's penduluming off the jab, and now he makes it to the front foot. And this is the right hand that I was telling you guys that Devin Haney needs to use after he makes it to the front foot. No feinting, no probing, just blast into it. Control some space. Rear hand probe. You just flow through it, and you can control some space. And even after his pendulum step and he got disrupted, he still found a way to sneak onto Ortiz's line, catch him with that shot, and more importantly, make two punches sound like one and explode into the second one. And this punch is, again, the most dangerous one from Haney because Haney doesn't keep his left hand up. He cannot block the straight punches from Lomachenko. Spoiler alert, guys. Do you guys know why Lomachenko is such a great southpaw? Well, he's a fucking right-handed fighter. He's right-handed, right? And again, allows him to sneak up on the line. Hits him with the right cross again. Easy, easy peasy, right? Penduluming. Oh, he did catch him with that shot a little bit. Oh, did he have a little bit of lead hand control? He did. 1, 2. Block that lead hand from coming up and interacting with that probe. And then here, moving into the big shot here. Ooh, really good shot from Loma. Double jab, push Loma out of his front foot position. Beautiful defense there from Loma, making it to the front foot again. Control, slip to the front foot, bait a shot, roll out of that shot because he knew Ortiz is looking to attack it because he was just in that position and he got attacked, right? Here we have a guy, a super athlete like Jermaine Ortiz, saying, bruh, you know I don't like when you get in the front foot. Get the fuck out of that front foot. Get out of here. What are you doing, fool? How many times I gotta tell your ass, get out of here? And he can't do it. But he's doing his best, right? He's doing his best to push him out of the line. Complexity of sequences. Beautiful little stepping around. Uh-oh. Little bear hug here. Little fighting on the inside. Really important stuff. Get to this position. Man, maybe you just got to control Lomachenko by smacking him a bunch, right? Keep him from being busy in here. Because, again, I think that the clinch is going to be a wild place in this fight. We don't know what type of clinching they're going to get away with. And if it's not tight enough clinching, there may be problems. We're going to talk about that a little later. Again, pull counter. Again, what types of control are going to be effective for Devin Haney? Is he going to be able to use the lead hand? Is he going to be able to react to the pull counters? Now, where's Jermaine Ortiz's rear hand? Is it in a position to interact with the line, to defend himself? Is it in position to block this punch? Is it in position? No, it's not. It's still in a better position than Devin Haney's winds up being in, usually. It's pretty close, but his is still higher than Devin Haney's, and that is not effective at all, okay? And again, complexity of sequences, okay? Pull counter, boom, 2, 3. Back on the line, uppercut, 1, right? Continuing the sequences, continuing to follow them up, okay? And again, that's going to be very important, again, when we take a look at the highlights. We see this, again, very, very difficult to fight Loma. He's on the outside, pull counters nothing, comes in with the rear hand, pendulum steps. Now look at how close he is. He's all over him. Devin Haney's best weapon, the left hand, completely neutralized from this position, right? Good job there. Lomachenko trying to pull counter here, getting controlled a little bit, making it under the line. Leaping left hook there, very effective for Ortiz, making the circle out. Look at how poor all of the rest of this stuff is from Ortiz, but he's able to control him with the hook there and the hook there, right? But notice a lot of the highlights so far, Ortiz getting beat up off of his own straight punches. Now, very, very dangerous. Complexity of sequences. Loma does nothing. Boom, follow it up, boom, 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 boom. Chasing him, leaping left hook, very important punch. Don't overuse it, follows him up. Complexity of sequences, boom. Lomachenko launching out of position to try to get this punch in. Even though Lomachenko is not normally a counterpuncher, I think that after you chase him on his line and you show him you're not going to give up and you're trying to follow up and this and that, you put him in a little bit of a scramble, and he's going to be ready to sit down and donkey punch with you. And I think that the fact that Devin Haney doesn't keep his hands up, he doesn't move his head after defense, his defensive responsibility is really poor, that Lomachenko, again, is going to have some distinct advantages technically in those areas. Now, technically and then literally, size, reach, speed still play a factor, okay? But the IQ is 100% all in Lomachenko's favor so far. The most common patterns, the way that they line up, and again, pull counters. How is Devin Haney going to be able to control the line with the probe here? God, that was fast. A probe here? God, that was fast too. And just jumping on his line and dumping punches on him. And again, very, very important sequence. Pull counter off of the probe, right? He's moving off the line, rear hand got him, and he's launching into the next sequence. Again, this is going to be a very, very, very dangerous fighter for Devin Haney. Let's not talk too much more about that. We will. We're going to keep watching, but here we go. We'll start in round 2 of these highlights for him. Control, control, control. Complexity of sequence, controlling after he punched, but look where his head is, right? Now, again, Lomachenko is not exactly the greatest counterpuncher, but he's decent Complexity of sequences. Are they still fighting? Is his head? Okay. He had a perfect opportunity to land this punch and hit him with his forearm. Okay. Again, Devin Haney's technique is so bad that he has a hard time chaining his techniques together in landing clean punches. Control. Good shot. Peels off the line. Where are his hands? Any of them in position? Any of them in position to block leaping right crosses? Is this hand in position? What happens if he gets pull countered here? Both of his hands are down. Is this not one of those moves that he's going to get pull countered with? Pull countered with? Very common sequence here too. Stepping jab. Decent of Haney to try to counter. Now I want to point out, he's stepping on the dude's foot again after the counter, right? Steps in with the jab here. Boop. And then Devin Haney jumps on his foot with the 1-2. Very interesting. I wonder how much of that is on purpose now. Is this guy the modern day Sandy Sadler? Anyway, moving on. Very common pattern, right? Devin Haney circling the ropes. Control. Beat, beat. Eats a body shot. Now again, very dangerous. Beat. Look at his guard. Okay? Beat. Beat. Look at his next position that he chose. Look at how he's open here. He's completely open for another follow-up punch. Boom. Caught him with a hook. Again, I think that the straight punches are going to be much more effective against Devin Haney than the rounded punches. I think Devin Haney is not going to be as good at getting away from them. They're going to be faster. Now, I don't think he caught him with that shot. We're going to take a look. What if this was a straight punch? Now, wait. And then what if this was the right follow-up? The straight right hand. Not the hook. Okay? Again, Diaz is no Lomachenko. Trying his best Lomachenko stuff there. Haney. Complexity of sequence. Low right there. Fine landing a punch. But the complexity of his sequence is not very high. A little bit of wrestling and stuff. Now, real quick, Devin Haney looking to make a little space to punch here. Makes a little space here. This is very important. Tries to find a little punch. Still can't do it, even with the referee's help. The referee already said stop. Devin Haney's doing that thing. Oh, well, I don't know, bro. Not even paying attention. The referee, he's like, listen to me. And Devin Haney immediately just starts ignoring him. Huh? What? Tell him something. Don't tell me something. Tell him something. Coming forward, front foot, pendulum. The uppercut comes from Haney. Very interesting guard of the line there. That may be a decent sequence for him if he can get enough space and control the line with his lead hand. Try his best to Teofimo him. Body shot, exploding into that shot real quick. I don't recall seeing Jermaine Ortiz land any shots like this yet in the highlights of Loma versus Ortiz yet, so we'll have to look for this punch too. But how does Haney defend his line after? He leaves the position immediately and his hands are down, and he's completely exposed to a headshot from either hand. No big deal. Control. A lot of hand control. How effective are the pull counters going to be? Okay. Complexity of sequence. Control. 2, controls the glove. Throws a little hook. Okay. That's the end of the sequence. And then recontrols, pendulums, into another 2. So chaining his sequences together with multiple controls. Decent. Still not landing super clean punches. Interesting why he goes here. Beat. And now he kind of leaps with this shot. But doesn't go anywhere. Okay? I'm pretty sure both of his feet are coming off the ground. But he's not going anywhere with that punch. Okay? If both his feet come off the ground and he pendulums with the leaping left hook, and he doesn't go anywhere, that means he jumped just straight up in the air for no reason. That's bad. Leaping left hook a little bit to pendulum on him. Beautiful. Love this sequence. Okay? So you use the leaping left hook here, control him, poof, get to this position here so you can blast into a body shot, boom, and then he follows it up with a kind of a sloppy push control, tries to grab his head, I think. And without controlling the guy's head and grabbing, because this is clearly not a punch, how does he defend himself? He got lead foot dominance-ish, a little bit of scramble on the inside here, bink, ate a body shot. Now that right hand from his opponent is wide open. It's ready for him. He's ready to be hit by that punch. Ooh, decent shot. And this is the position that Loma's going to catch, pull. And he's going to move in on the next beat. But he's going to try to beat him coming back with it. And again, I think that'll be a very common sequence because of the way that Devin Haney controls the space with that same jab. Jab, pendulum, no, jab, jab, stepping jab, hook to the body. Second, follow it up. Not bad from Diaz there. Too bad he couldn't do anything with it. Ooh. Now again, slipping this shot, landing a decent shot. Again, Devin Haney, like we talked about in the first few minutes of the fight, gets into a position where he can snap his punch. His opponent's in range, and he could throw a punch. But Devin Haney doesn't have any punching power. So he just controls the space a little bit. This is not a punch. This is not even a probe. It's just control, because he's not going to do anything with this control, right? So he's just using it to create a little bit of space, okay? And then he's going to do it, and again, he's in position, he's in range. If he just snapped and had punching power, he could really hurt that guy. Think Gennady Golovkin. Why can Golovkin get power? Check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. You'll figure it out, okay? Now, again, continuing to go forward. Control, control. Is he going to make a move? Step into the front foot, stepping in with the jab. Now, again, where's Devin Haney's hands? This is a little bit better of a position. A little bit. No. 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 Okay? And getting hit, again, for no reason. Devin Haney doesn't move his head at all. We established that. He's no head movement. He doesn't pick a side of the line. Devin Haney, his hand position sucks. Okay? His feet are really wide. All of these things tell me that Devin Haney doesn't know why he does the things that he does. Even though everything that we do is in relation to our opponent, my feet, I know where my feet go because I know where my opponent is. I know where my head goes because I know where the line is. I know where my hands go because I know what I have to defend. I know where I'm trying to attack. And Devin Haney's hand position and feet position and head position, none of it makes any sense. Ooh. Now, is there a reason, boom, body shot, and then he tries to roll out. His head's not even below the waist yet, but now it is as he's getting pushed down. Is there a reason why Devin Haney needs to hold him here? I think kinda. I think there is. There's a really important reason. We're going to take a look at it. I don't want to, oh, the suspense. Oh, the suspense. Well, let's figure out why he needs to do that. Why he needs to do that. Where is that clip? Wow, I went through the whole thing. I didn't even find it one time. Here we go. Why does Devin Haney need to have so much control of Lomachenko on the inside? Lomachenko's fast. Oh, man, isn't it just different watching Loma move and do stuff right after watching Haney do nothing? Lomachenko threw a hook. Very rarely does he throw hooks. Tie him up on the inside. He created a little bit of space. Look at his head position. Boom, look at that right hook on the inside. Dropped him. Thought the fight was over. Lomachenko thought the fight was over too. Look at him. Hit and run. Bink. Oh, I'm out of here. I don't even need to touch that dude again. But fighting him on the inside, this is the scramble. This is why this is going to be so important. Being able to clinch correctly on the inside, being able to get control of your opponent. But this is also why it's going to be so important for Devin Haney to understand how to fight out of these positions. How to make the most out of the positions that are not here. Because this shot comes out of nowhere. Look at how close that shot is to him. He hits him so hard. And Lomachenko has two hands. Okay? We're going to come back to these clips here. That was one of the most important ones that I wanted to kind of show you guys. But if Devin Haney isn't allowed to do this, and he shouldn't be, Lomachenko is going to be very difficult to fight on the inside. He's going to be very difficult to tie up because he's going to be able to create space because he's been fighting people his whole career that try to tie him up, to try to control him, to stop him from doing stuff. Devin Haney should not ever find himself in a position where he's off the ground here like this. If he is, that's blatant cheating. Okay, you should not be holding your opponent down or pushing them down because his head wasn't below the waist. He was rolling under a shot-ish, right? Defensive responsibility after throwing his own punch, rolling below the line, not the waistband, not the waist. Boom, counter, headshot, leaping right cross. Devin Haney is his hands up in position to defend the line. Control, control. Is there a pull counter there from Lomachenko? Body shot. Is he going to move his head? Questionable. If Diaz wasn't penduluming off the line already. Moving on to the line. Front foot, back foot, front foot, front foot. Straight punch. Not bad from Haney. But haven't we seen Loma pull counter this move a million times? So we'll see how those punches interact with each other. Because I don't see Haney doing that enough. Now, real quick. Excellent work from Haney, getting his guy to the line, controlling him forward, throwing the hook around the guard here, following it up with another shot, and then moving off the line. Still getting hit here. Still making some mistakes defensively. Control, control. And now he's going to beat. And now he doesn't have his hands up on the next beat. And he gets caught. Right? You're never more than one position ahead of your opponent. Fouts boxing rule number 573. Boom, boom, pendulum, 1-1-2. Where are Haney's hands? Remember how I talked earlier about the importance of everything we do is in relation to our opponent, and Devin Haney's hand is in a much worse position than Jermaine Ortiz? Well, look at how much of his line is exposed when Diaz wants to interact with his head. Whack! Smack him with a good shot right there. Very similar punch to the one that Comey got hit with, right? But I know they were tied up a little bit, right? Is this the position that Devin Haney's going to try to be in here? Try to duck below the waist? Is he going to get hit by those shots on the inside that Comey got smacked by? Is he going to get lit up? Now, real quick. Look at him. Throw him off there with his forearm. Wah! And then try to hit him. Devin Haney is a big, huge animal of a man. He's super strong. Probably not easy to fight, even if you're better than him. Now, this is a really interesting sequence in this fight here. Okay, guys, really, really interesting because I think this is one of the sequences where Devin Haney doesn't really fight that much. Okay? Gets out fought there. Okay? A little bit of, has his hands up. I like it. A little bit of getting tied up here. They're fighting kind of not on the inside, but a little bit of the wrestling. Devin Haney's like, that's not me. I'm not the wrestler. Maybe it's not this round. 1-1-2. Where's the counters? Okay. Now, again, Loma not the biggest counterer. Maybe Devin Haney can use enough first contact. Beep, beep. Keep him defensive. I doubt it. Very common pattern here. Lomachenko jumps on the line. Bah! What do you think about that, fool? Sup? Pull counter. Devin Haney. Defensive responsibility. Is he going to pull counter after this move? What is he anticipating after? Nothing. He's not anticipating anything. Complexity of sequences. The average complexity of the sequence of Lomachenko is much higher than that of Devin Haney. He fights at a much higher pace. The traps and games that he plays are more complex. Everything about this on paper just screams Lomachenko, except for the weight, right? And the weight will only be an issue if Haney is allowed to grab and hold by the waist and wrestle. But we've seen what happens on the inside with Comey, not able to guard the line, not able to get any value. Hand position, pull counter, body shot, decent, holding his head still, not getting warned. Lomachenko gets warned by that. What's his name? What's that fool's name? Kid Galahad got warned, and now he's not even like an elite level fighter. right? I mean, he's a good fighter, but he's not at the top of the rankings no more. No lead hand control for him. Kid Galahad, because nobody likes you. You don't have any charisma. Um, so you're not allowed to break the rules like everyone else. Kinda. It's not breaking the rules. Beat, 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 beat. Okay. Uh-oh. Check this out. Are they fighting on the inside? Is that space there for a knockout punch like the one against Comey? Because again, look at his hands. They're not in a position to fight on the inside. He's quick. He can attack the line pretty decent. Control. 1, 2. Sets on the line. Eats a hook. Same hook that dropped Comey. Decent. How many times have we seen Loma do this, though? Probe. Pull. Attack. What does Haney do? Beat. Beat. On this next beat. Nothing. He sat there. And that's the beat that Lomachenko is going to go right hand, or left hand, right, leaping right cross. Again, I think Haney is going to be very exposed for that punch. I think it's going to be an excellent punch to beat him with. And I don't think that Haney's going to have any answers for it. I don't think, to be honest, when it's Lomachenko and the speed and the height of the speed is at its pinnacle, you're not going to fight anybody who's as fast or as sharp as Lomachenko unless you're fighting Lomachenko. Ooh, that looked like a good shot from him, right? But totally eating this cross first, right? And again, that's one of Loma's favorite punches. And Lomachenko's right-handed. Funny-ass overhand right. I don't know why he's throwing it like that. Allowing him to get right on the line. Rear hand probe. Very, very common sequence from Lomachenko. Very effective. Again, Devin Haney doesn't cross the line, transition his weight, change positions, or keep his hands in position to interact with the line. So even though Diaz being the much shorter fighter, he's still able to get into a position like I was talking about at the beginning of the film study where he can just snap into a punch. And here he is just doing that against Devin Haney, extending his technique, but finding a way to land a pretty free punch, right? He has to defend himself after the sequence, which he does not do very well there. For whatever reason, Devin Haney is just shoving his hand in his face, and the ref's not saying anything. I guess it kind of looks like a faux punch. Again, I have no idea what Devin Haney is doing with his punch technique. It's just horrendous. I have no idea. Just terrible. Okay? Complexity of sequence. 1, 2. Shifts. Stays there. His hands are down. Comes up. Doing what? Eats a shot. Eats a shot. Eats a shot. Now, really important. Double hook. Beautiful. Lack of defensive responsibility after. A few things in this sequence in particular. Diaz probably was not expecting a double hook. He was probably expecting it to be beat, or maybe beat and then right hand. Right? So he chose his offense in this particular way, probably trying to counter trying to counter the right hand, not a left hook. Or just trying to chase him. Hook to the body, control. Now again, beat. And what's Lomachenko's next punch? It's the right cross. If Lomachenko's doing this, he's not getting this bodied up here, right? That right cross is still open there. Still open here. Boom. Oh, this is the round where Devin Haney's not going to be super active, not going to keep his hands up. Boom. Gets smacked clean across the jaw here. Smacked here for no reason. Smacked here? No, I don't know. Still in a position where his hands are down. Control. Complexity of sequence. 1, 2. Look at what it takes to get Devin Haney out of position. Pull counter. Beat. Where's the third beat? Devin Haney's technique is completely compromised, right? He's even getting hit. No, I don't think he actually got hit by that punch. Boom. Pivot on the front foot. Stepping into the jab. Mostly slipped. Slipped. Coming in. And again, his hands, are they in a position to block, to defend the line? Where is that hand? Why is it on his neck? Because it looks like he's getting just completely smacked by this punch for free. Now, what's the complexity of this sequence here? 1, 2. He saw it coming. And he still couldn't get his head out of the way. He still couldn't get his tools to line up in a way to interact with his opponent in this regard. Again, huge flaws, huge holes in Devin Haney's technique. And real quick, who has some of the best straight punch and straight punch game in boxing? Dimitri Bivol. Where does he keep his hands to block and interact with straight punches? Real close forward. Real close forward here. Okay? Controlling the line. Same with Lomachenko. And the way that you beat that, the way that you have to fight someone who's fast and good at that, is you have to keep your hands up too. And Devin Haney just does not have the ability to keep his hands up and control the line in a way that'll stop his opponents from being able to connect the line here, especially with the added speed and the added sharpness, the added IQ. Devin Haney's not going to be able to interact with Lomachenko in the correct way. I don't think. And these are going to be, again, that was a very low-level sequence. And it was very effective against Haney. Defensive responsibility. His opponent made lead foot dominance. This would be the pull counter opportunity. Pendulums. A little bit of control, right? It's better than nothing, but he's still not in a position to defend the right cross. Okay? So he still needs to be watching out for that, even if he can get control of the line. If he can get control of probe. No. So this is another move that Devin Haney really, really, really likes, that he's done a few times in his orthodox, in his closed stance matchup, orthodox versus orthodox, where he'll throw a left, like slip to the front foot. Here, boom, and then he'll do a double left hook, left hook, left hook. Now again, why is it that Devin Haney smacks, when he stresses his technique, he smacks people with his wrist? Does anybody know? Okay, don't say it. Don't say it. Okay? But if you've gotten the Fouts Boxing Combat System and you know how you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do with all the pieces of your body, you know what you're supposed to do with your hands, okay? Just put a thumbs up in the comment section, okay? Let me know that you know why Devin Haney's kind of a scrub with his punch technique, okay? And you'll understand that's why he's not landing with his hands, okay? That's why he's clubbing people with his forearms. Real quick, the hook, straight punch, hook not so bad, straight punch probably worse. Complexity of sequence, 1, 2, got stuck there for a second. Decent got out of there, right, after the pull, or the roll after. Very common sequence, right? 1, where's the defense? He got past the lead hand control. Where is it? Where is the way that Devin Haney is going to be able to defend himself from someone as fast and explosive as Lomachenko? Again, when you get into a position where you're on the line and you're exploding, right? I can't tell who's landing a punch. I think Devin Haney's definitely landing something control. It looks like he misses. And I can't tell what Jojo Diaz is doing. He's landing, but it's one beat control and he's slipping. And he might be landing his own body shot. But when you get into a position when you're on the line and your opponent's as fast as Lomachenko, they're going to be able to just snap and hit you. And that's kind of what Devin Haney's trying to do here to Diaz as he makes it from the back foot, and as he takes a step with that right foot, beat. Trying to time him here. But as we can see, Diaz's hand here looks like it's making it to his body while Haney's hand is here. Okay, so it looks like this is a good sequence for Diaz. And then again, once you allow him to get to a space, right, Lomachenko, he's a beast. He's a machine. You can't just allow him to throw punches. He doesn't get tired like someone like Diaz. Right? Decent here. Control. 2, 3. Caught him with a perfect shot right there. How could he not drop him? Look at how big he is. Well, Devin Haney doesn't add power to his punches. He just kind of keeps the same beat. He doesn't know how to add power. Excuse me. Very common boxing game there. Ooh. So again, controlling with the rear hand, shifting forward, straight punch. Is that a straight punch? Is it going to hit him instead of a rounded-ish one? Was it a straight punch or was it rounded? Boom. No, it's a rounded-ish punch. I don't know. He doesn't go all the way extension. Good counter from Haney in that particular sequence. Complexity of sequences. One punch, right? One punch. Maybe that counts as getting, right, pull counter here. Maybe it counts, right? Scramble sequence. 1, 2, right? Pull, 2. But on average, very low complexity of sequences for Devin Haney. And that was one of the things that was very, very rewarding for Jamaine Ortiz, is that he was able to stress Lomachenko's defense enough to find punches, but also, again, one of the most important things in that fight is nobody said that they thought Loma lost. Everyone said they saw holes. And Ortiz was able to create enough space on average to make Lomachenko look vulnerable. Again, he's so much faster than this guy. He's so much faster and more active and puts more pressure than Diaz. He hits harder. And this was a close fight. Low. Body shot. Look at where the gloves are. Around the guard. The hook. So again, this is the most important punch that Devin Haney has in his arsenal. I still haven't seen a lot of sequences. Speak of the devil. Where Lomachenko gets hit by the hook. So let's look for some. Let's see what Lomachenko's guard looks like. That's a pretty decent guard. It's okay. He's weakest here to straight punches for sure. But that's his whole game too. Pull counter. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, and just blitzing the line. He threw 4 punches there. 1, 2. 1, 2. Blitzing the line. Right? Way faster than Haney. And Jamaine Ortiz, much faster too. So, Lomachenko doing pretty decent job at countering the lowest levels what the hell was that word? The lowest levels of sequences, right? The sequences with the lowest amount of complexity, right? The probes, showing that he can see them clearly coming. Devin Haney's footwork I don't think is going to be good enough to make him fast enough to make those positions difficult to read. Because of the way that he uses his technique and he finds himself off the ground so much, I don't think that he's going to be able to interact with Lomachenko on multiple beats as well as Ortiz did, or as long as Ortiz did. All right, come on. Where them hooks at? Where them hooks at? Oh, my goodness. Okay, that was a good hook there. Okay. Control him here. Takes a step off the line. Pendulum. Right? Makes it to the back foot. Controls him with the rear hand. Look at the guard of Lomachenko. Boom. Caught him with the hook. Excellent shot. This is a little bit of Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford, right? Control, pendulum, uses the space. Lomachenko's used up all his technique, shifted forward already. Bink, bink. Complexity of sequences. Again, in order to land a clean, hard shot. Okay, Loma, don't get all crazy leaning on his head here. You're not Devin Haney, bro. But the complexity of sequences that it takes to be able to find a clean punch on Lomachenko that isn't a hook is very high. This is one of the only punches that I've seen in this whole fight that has been effective out the gate and is effective for him without a lot of setup. And most of what Devin Haney does is very low complexity. And again, that's because of the way that he uses his body. That's because of the way that he throws his punches. If you want to figure out why he has all those problems, again, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. First person in history to solve punching power, to be able to teach punching power to anybody in the world. Anybody, guaranteed. Even Eli Sekbak could knock you out. If he trained with me for 2 weeks doing my system, I could teach him to knock you out. Again, complexity of sequences, pull, boom, boom, boom. All the follow-up. Ooh, complexity of sequence. Push him around. Beat. Pull counter. Boom. On the line. On the line. On the line. Follow up. Don't let him rest. Keep the stress of your technique going. Beautiful sequences. And again, not a lot of holding. A lot of flurries. A lot of line control. Jermaine Ortiz, Lomachenko gave him a lot of praise. Said a lot of nice things about him. He understands boxing. That's a huge deal. And I think that Jermaine Ortiz is a tougher fight for Lomachenko than Devin Haney was. And I think that if he had had this fight, well, people are still saying he's grandpa, right? But if he had fought Devin Haney first, and then he fought and then he fought this guy, people might have said he lost the fight. No, I don't know if they'd say that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Pull. Bink, bink. Hand position. But they'd definitely be saying that he lost it, right? It's kind of like that guy in the UFC who gave John Jones a really tough fight, and everyone was like, wow, bro, you must be really legit. You gave John Jones a hard fight. And then he lost like 19 fights in a row or whatever, and then complained about being put on the prelims. Reyes? Dominic Reyes? No. I don't know. I know what he looks like. I think he's a southpaw. I don't remember. But if he can't beat anybody else, right? You're lucky you're still in the UFC. That's all you're famous for, is getting a close loss to John Jones. Like, yeah, it's a badge of honor to have a loss from Mayweather. Maybe you could take what you learned and grow as a fighter, right? But it's still a loss, right? Like, just because you gave him a good fight or this and that, it doesn't mean that... Anyway. I don't know where I'm going with that. I just thought it was kind of silly. But, I don't want to say Lomachenko has a lot of close fights. But Lomachenko's fights have been kind of maybe like a little tiny bit getting closer. Right? Little tiny bit getting closer. Let's take a look at that Comey stuff a little bit. We're not going to watch the beginning of the fight. I mean, he's an animal. Right? Look at the sequences. Just beating him up a little bit. Comey is hard to fight. Complexity of sequence. Chain. Push him. Stress. Hook. Stress. And Comey is a puncher. This guy can punch, man. And Lomachenko's sitting on his line and beating him up. All right, let's go look toward the end of the fight. Skip past the knockdown. Ooh, good shot. Uh-oh. Boom, boom, boom. Comey's going to throw a hook here. Very effective. Okay, now, Comey's a way better puncher than Devin Haney. Way better puncher. And if Comey couldn't crack Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez couldn't crack him, there's no way that Devin Haney even remotely stuns or worries Lomachenko. In fact, I don't doubt, like this, is there any way that Devin Haney is going to be able to get as much weight or power or chain or sequence into the punches? Like, look at the speed. Boom, 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 boom. And the power that he's getting into these punches. If you want to learn everything there is to know about power punching and how to generate power and how to get weight from your kinetic chain, not only learn how to throw your best punch, but improve your best punch massively. Triple your power. Triple, no joke. And I'm not just talking about learning how to punch harder than you do now. I'm talking about teaching you the secrets that the greats unknowingly did. They had no idea that they were doing these things, or that they did, or that they learned to do them on accident. They break the rules of convention, not just for a number of reasons. No secrets, right? I'm not trying to give you any secrets right now. Okay, check out my system. It's worth it. Okay? You're going to check this system out, and then you're going to look at all the other systems everywhere else, all this Teddy Atlas garbage. You're going to look at it and be like, wow, dude, that guy doesn't know shit about boxing. What the hell? What have I been listening to all these years? Again, it's going to change your whole life. It's going to change everything you think about boxing, everything that you think about combat sports. And if you want to know how Comey generates so much power, again, check it out. Comey's an animal. But on that topic, actually, people have learned this system and have been able to do some of the things that I teach and create some amount of the power because they learned some of these things on accident. You guys are going to be people who learned this stuff on purpose. And that means because you know where you're supposed to be going and what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to learn it better. And the people that use my system to grow and to learn power are going to be among the greatest punchers on the planet. Okay? Top 1% of punchers of all time. Because we're learning it correctly and we're learning it on purpose. Okay? There's a reason why, and one of the cruxes of this, right, is learning the Ryan Garcia left hook. I talk about it, I demo it, I teach you guys I teach you guys exactly what he's doing. And once you guys know exactly what he's doing, you're going to be like, oh, that is what he's doing. You're going to wonder why the fuck he doesn't do it with his right hand. Why he doesn't understand how to improve his right hand in the same way. It's probably because he thinks it's magic too. He learned it on accident. He doesn't want to hurt his right hand. He doesn't remember what it's like to do it when his hand was flawed. So it feels so different, but I'm going to teach you exactly what it is that Ryan Garcia does and exactly how to improve it. And here's the thing. Ryan Garcia learned it on accident by hitting the cobra back and just trying to show off, just trying to be good, just trying to do it like a real artist, right? He's like, how did you learn to paint with such this? Or when they ask Mozart, right? How do you teach me how to compose a song? How do you compose a song? How do you do it? This kid did it. Mozart did it when he was 4. Well, Mozart didn't have to ask how to compose a song, right? Ryan Garcia didn't have to ask how to do it. But that doesn't mean that he knows and understands the best, most efficient way to do it. And I'm going to teach you how. And after a few weeks, your punching power is going to grow so much, and you're going to be like, oh my God. And here's the incredible thing. You're not done. You're going to do it again, and again, and again. And Every single time you go to the gym, you can do these drills and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm punching harder. For the rest of your life, you are going to be able to use these drills to generate power and to learn to punch harder, to improve your kinetic chain. And again, Fouts boxing combat fighters are going to be among the most elite punchers ever, because we're learning all of this shit on purpose. We're learning exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, even Lomachenko, imagine if Lomachenko had a little bit of Ryan Garcia pop in his punches, right? Again, check it out. Oh, is his hand up? Here comes the hook. His hand kind of was up for the hook, even though it kind of snuck in there. Really, really good punch technique from Comey. Again, you're going to learn what he's doing. You're going to learn how it works. You're going to understand how punching really works and how to move your head and snap and punch and smash people. And be able to sneak your punches in. How snap really works. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm so proud of it, guys. Check it out. Ooh. Now this is a really pull, smash. And that's off of a 1-2. This is going to be a very problematic sequence for Devin Haney. 1-2, he's about to throw a 1-2, and Loma's pull countering the jab. Boom. Okay, Lomachenko, I think, being the harder puncher, real quick. Pull counter off of the rear hand probe. Complexity of sequences. He's trying to control the line with his right hand probe. He needs to be able to do something out of this position after. We've seen so many times Devin Haney do nothing. Pull counter. Bink. Caught him with an excellent shot. Followed it up too. Lomachenko is not just trying to hit you with one shot. Bink, bink, bink. He's trying to hit you with 3. Oh man, another beautiful pull counter here into a right cross. Again, you can hardly even see this one. It's so fast. Boom. Boom. Excellent shot. Now again, just look at the speed difference. Look at the speed of their sequences, their transitions. How many more times he's on the line and smashing. As we go back to a little bit of Haney versus Diaz again. Complexity of sequences. The hook, again, very important. But the pace of this fight is nowhere near that of the Lomachenko. How many counters off of these probes? Is there a counter off of this probe? Is there going to be a counter off of this probe? 1, 2. Pull counter. Body shot. What's going to follow up? What's going to take the place of the rest of this sequence if Loma's in this position? Beautiful body shot. Now real quick. Beautiful body shot, leaning straight into it. Excellent. Perfect beat. He predicted the control beat perfectly. Got his head off the line. Body shot. Where's the right cross? Right over the shoulder. Right over. Right? Loma's going to find that shot. Ooh, and that's it. That's it. We're going to call the film study here. Complexity of sequences. Look at the position of his hands. Again, tight guard. Lomachenko is a straight punch fighter. He's going to guard from straight punches himself. He does not throw very many hooks. He likes to play his boxing games at a distance where the straight punches are most effective. He prefers the straight punches. The hook is going to be the most important tool for Devin Haney. Oh, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have chosen the one where he's also getting smacked up too. But Devin Haney needs to find a way to get some value out of his hook. He needs a little bit of Fouts boxing combat system so he can get some power in that shit and really control some space and really make Lomachenko pay, because it's going to be the only way that he can win this fight. It's going to be the only way he can get his weight from the front foot to the back foot safely, control the line and set up traps, and still get some value. If you enjoyed the film study, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. And leave a review, please. All of the stuff in the Fouts Boxing Combat System is original. It's all mine. It's all created. It's all the stuff I've been doing since I was 19 years old. to teach me or to teach you how to punch like I used to punch and like I punch now. But I punch, I'm a little bit harder of a puncher now. I'm a little bigger too. I used to be a little smaller. But first person in history to completely figure out how power punching works and to be able to teach any person on the planet to power punch. Again, ask any coach. People say it can be improved. Punchers are born. They can't be taught. My system proves not only are they wrong, they are super fucking wrong. Okay? Not only will anybody who uses my system wind up a better puncher, okay? But if every single person who gets it works on it, every single one of them will be a better puncher than, has the potential to be a better puncher than anyone in history. Okay? There should be nobody you can't learn how to outpunch. And again, if you don't believe me, check it out. They have a 100% money back guarantee. There's a Black Friday deal right now. They're just basically giving it away on dynamic striking. Again, it's going to change combat forever. Check it out. Leave a review. If you see some fighters, like, hey, he's right. I figured out how this guy punches. Or if you see somebody who's using the system, leave it in the comments. Hey, this guy looks like he's using it. This guy, I don't know. Give me a review, guys. I'd appreciate it. It helped me a lot. Thanks.